Hello and welcome to the LinkedIn Business Page Activity Report. This wants to take the data from your LinkedIn business page and it wants to analyze it for you, but it's obviously, excuse me, you can set it up to kind of accommodate what you think are good reactions to your posts, and then it gives you a point system. So let me explain how it all works. It's actually relatively straightforward. It may look a little bit complicated because there's quite a bit going on. But actually, once you've set it up the first time, it really is as easy as just copying your data and pasting into the spreadsheet, and the reports are done. So let me talk you through it and show you how it works. The first page, obviously the setup page, you can put your business name in there. It doesn't go anywhere else. And then down the left-hand side, you've got 5 different kind of reactions, the engagement that could happen, or 4 different engagement, and obviously the impressions. So what you can now do is you can assign a point system to each of these actions on your post. So for example, how many points do you want to assign for how many impressions? Now, obviously, if you put a point per impression and a point for a comment or a repost, that's a little bit unfair, because obviously you could get hundreds or even thousands of impressions, whereas you obviously only going to get a fraction of the number of reposts as you do impressions. So you can assign how many points you get per how many of each of the actions. So for example, 1 point per 10 impressions, or 4 points per 1 click, or 2 points for 1 reaction, or whatever it might be. You can decide what's more important to you, what you think, what engagement you're trying to create with your posts, and assign more points to those. And if it's just per 1 click, then there's obviously 4 points for each of them. Otherwise, you can break it down to go, for example, 1 point for 10 impressions. Now, if you do 1 point for 10 impressions and you get 18 impressions, you only get 1 point. You don't get any part points, only for the full sets, excuse me. So that's the setup. Once you've set that up, you can adjust this at any stage, and it'll adjust the points that it assigns. Then you've got 2 different pages. You've got your metrics data and you've got your post data. Now, these are 2 different exports. It actually exports it at once in one spreadsheet if you go to LinkedIn. So you need to get your data and paste it into here. Now, all of this I'll explain in a minute. Let's go to LinkedIn. If you go to LinkedIn and you actually go to your business page, and you click on analytics, there's a content button there that you can click. Now you want to export the data, but now you can decide how much you want to export. If you say export, the spreadsheet will handle up to a year. So at the moment, we've just started March. So let's go to the end of February. So if I push custom, excuse me, and I go back, let's start at the beginning of March in 2020. 2022, actually, we can't even go back that far. You need to go, obviously, back as far as you can in order to, you can go part month. So let's go from the 6th of March, and let's go all the way up to the 5th of March. So we've got, you see, click update. It gives us a year. Ideally, you'd like to get exactly on a month, but it doesn't matter if you go part way onto a month. Over a month, it will allow for 13 months on the report. But also what you could do is you could actually export, for example, a month and add the data to the bottom. You don't have to export a year at a time. You can do a month each. At the end of each month, you can do the previous month and just paste the new data underneath the last batch of data. Then you click export, and then it gives you a little export, and we open up that spreadsheet. Now, this will have 2 tabs. You've got your metrics and all posts. So we click enable editing. You must do that to make sure that the data is available to copy and paste. And I'm just going to delete the first row. You can either ignore it or you can delete it on both of these, because that just throws a little bit of a spanner in the works. So we take that out, and that's what we want left. We want these headers that are in bold, and we want the data below. So now what you do is, if you click on the first one at the top and you press Shift, Control and right, it goes all the way across, and Shift, Control and down, it jumps down to the bottom of the data, and you copy that. Now, this is the metrics data. So you go back to the spreadsheet, and on the metrics data, you want to click on this first cell here, the gray rows where the headers go, and column B, this column 1 here is the very first column. So you right click there. Now you don't do normal paste. Normal paste will paste the data as it is, including the formatting, and then you'll end up locking the spreadsheet and messing it up. You want to do paste values, because what paste values does is it only pastes the data. It doesn't paste the formatting. So we click that and you can see everything's jumped into action and it says selections look okay. Now, this would have been set up for LinkedIn, but LinkedIn might change the headers. They might move this around. They may mess around with this data. That's why it's pasted into a grid. If the columns change order, it doesn't matter. It will find it. But if the headers change, so let's just say that this date, the date, or let's go to one of the other ones. Your date header changes to date today, for example. Then that one says, I can't find that. And then all you need to do is go back to there and find the right header for the date and select it, and then it will find it again. So if the headers change in LinkedIn, it'll flag up here and you'll see straight away, and you'll see that that data is missing. And then you can actually just go and select which header it is to populate this box. The idea is you want to paste the data in here, select the headers, and then check this box here and see that everything's okay. It will flag up a few alerts here if there are things that look suspicious or if there's something missing. So as we saw that red cross going, and it gives you an alert, you just want to check that. The other thing is the date, because the date comes out as a text and it doesn't come out, as you can see, it comes out in the American format, month, day. Excel throws a wobbly and it doesn't quite know what to do if you're in Britain. So what I've done here is I've actually just said, what is the date format for the raw data? Month, day, year. So what's before the first dash, what's in the middle between the two dashes, and what's at the end. So if LinkedIn changes the data format, you'll see some of these dates will disappear and it won't know what it's doing here, or it might just ignore them all. You can come here and tell it what the date format layout is. But as I said, all of this will be set up. So in theory, you can just leave it. If the data stays the same, you won't have to mess with this. But if the data changes, you might just have to make some new selections. But those red crosses down here will tell you which one needs to be adjusted. If the dates are missing here, then adjust the date format up here. But last thing you can do is just check that the data here looks correct. You might not necessarily know exactly, but if it looks correct and the dates in the date column and impressions and what have you, and it all looks good, then you can move on to the next one. And the post data is exactly the same. It's just got some different criteria, so there are different headers involved. So we need to go, it says, please paste headers and data below using paste values. So we go back to that data export, and we go to all posts, and we do exactly the same thing again. Shift, Control, and right. Shift, Control, and down. Gets the whole batch. Copy. Come in here, right-click, and paste values. Back headers in the gray row, everything else underneath, all to the left. Now, this one, because the other one allowed for a year's worth of data, this one allows 1,200 rows. So if you are posting multiple times per day, you might run out of space. Just make sure that if you try and paste it into here and it says you're trying to paste into a locked cell, then you might have too many rows. Just make sure you don't have too many rows of data. And then once you've pasted that in, again, check here, selections look okay, all the data looks correct. So now we've got the metrics data, we've got the post data, you've done the setup here as far as points are concerned. Now you're ready to do your report. So in theory, if everything stays the same, and once you set this up, you should just have to paste that data into there using paste values, paste the post data into here using paste values, and that should be it. One other thing before we get started, the metrics data, especially, it gives impressions. This has been set up to impressions, organic clicks, organic reactions, organic. Now, you want to click the impressions. If you just want to monitor your sponsored data, then you can click impression sponsored and go through and change them all to the sponsored version, or you can select the totals if you do have paid data. Because I don't have any paid posts, I've just selected organic, but you might want to change these to totals. So you can just go down and change them to totals. So clicks, totals, etc., to change them to totals. So you can select which column you're actually using for each of those. So you don't have to stick to organic. So that's the metrics data, post data, and now you're ready to view. So the report, this is the overall breakdown of points. So most of the report ignores your actual kind of impressions and clicks, and it converts everything to points. So it shows you how many points, what percentage of the total. So most of my points are coming from clicks, but that's because I've rated my clicks quite highly. Points per day, points per post on average. Here you can see your maximum points per day, which day it was, best performing month, month of the best performing post. And you can see the breakdown of points earned per month. So the breakdown of points, those are the points per month broken down into the different points that you've earned into different colors. Here you can see a breakdown of points earned per month based on posts. And here you can see the number of posts per month. And here you can see the points per post. Now, the points per post, these are the monthly points that you've earned, and these are the points that you've earned on monthly posts per post. So in other words, for example, if you look in July and it says 9, I've earned 9 points in July. That's from the metrics data. But then what about all the posts that were posted in July, regardless of when I've earned the points? And that answer is 11. So the taller purple column would actually indicate that the posts that you posted that month actually did better than the month, and so to speak. So you may have got some of these points the following month, but they were based on posts that you had the previous month, etc. So this purple one shows your how good your posts were that month, and the blue one shows how good your actual engagement was that month. So these two may well differ. And this is exactly the same, but this shows your engagement percentage. Now, the engagement percentage is the one figure that does use the raw data. It doesn't work on points. So what this does is it totals up all your engagement. So it goes clicks plus comments plus reactions plus reposts, and it divides that by the number of impressions. So in other words, in theory, 8% here, if we look at that, 9% of the people, the impressions actually engage with the post in some way. So that's your engagement rate. So that's your report overall, mainly based on the metrics data, but a few obviously from these graphs based on the posts. And then this is actually the post position table. So this will give you the posts ranked in order of the number of points that they've scored. So you can go through here and see which post actually got the most points. And then you can see where they scored their points from clicks, reactions, comments, reposts, impressions, etc. You can see where they scored their points from, and you can see the engagement rate as well. So you can see some of these posts down here have got a better engagement rate, but they've scored minimal points. So in other words, not many people have seen them, but those that have seen them have reacted quite favorably. Now, this one only shows the first 25 posts. If you want to see the rest of them, you can just come up here. It says league table 1 of 3. You can change it to 2, and then it will show you from 26 the next positions down. So you can kind of toggle through, and when you finish, go back to number 1. So that's a league table of all your posts ranked in order based on points. This is an overview of everything, mainly the metrics data, but some post data thrown in. You can have a look at all those graphs based on your data. And as I said, it all comes together by pasting values in, just having a double check that the data is all correct. Also making sure that you've got the right clicks, etc., whether it's organic, sponsored, or total. And once you've set those up and you've set up your points, simply paste your data in and have a look at the report. So quite a long-winded demo because there's lots to actually look at, but as I said, most of it won't be used on a daily basis. Dump the data in, have a look at your reports. And if you do use LinkedIn for your business, please do come and connect with me. That's a link to my page, and that's a link to the business page. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and let's have I wish you all the best with your LinkedIn business page, and I really hope that the spreadsheet helps you to get some insight into that. So thank you very much, and goodbye.